Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fine Spirits Appreciation Society. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer of our channel, then please consider hitting the subscribe button if you've not yet. Today, we're checking out a Jefferson's bourbon, but not just any Jefferson's bourbon. We're having a look at the Jefferson's Grand Selection Chateau Pichon Baron French Oak Cask finished straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey. It's bottled at 45% ABV or 90 proof. The MSRP is kind of high. I believe it's about $130 give or take. This bottle might be of interest because I believe it's one of the special bottles being released up in Canada, our northern neighbors, for their annual rare spirits release. So this might be an interesting one for you guys to hear about before you might have the chance to pick one up to decide if it's worth it or not. I was lucky enough to find this at $70. That's not the normal price that you can find it at. It's close to half. I have let this bottle open up and air out a little bit. I poured this maybe 15 minutes ago. One of my friends who had this previously recommended that. Said that without letting it open up a little, that you'd be doing this bottle a disservice. That the first pour, unopened, was not nearly as good as one that had opened up a little bit. So let's start with the nose. Caramel, like Werther's caramel candies. Like this toasted oak. Like a raspberry preserve. Some sort of baking spice. I can't really pin down a specific spice. Maybe a hint of raisin or some sort of dark fruit. Yeah, it smells pretty good on the nose. Fairly complex for being from what I would normally expect from a 90 proof bourbon. But then again, it is finished in those casks. Onto the palate. Cheers. That's really interesting. So, you get a little bit of oak and spice, but then there's this almost like a undercooked raspberry pastry, like the dough is still sort of raw. Going back to the nose, I get a little bit of cinnamon sugar. Along with the things I previously mentioned, the raspberry preserves, the oak. I'm going to go back for a second sip and see if I can pinpoint what that weird doughy sort of note is. Yeah, it's still there. It's interesting. I like it, but it is different. So you get vanilla, oak, that sort of like semi-raw dough, like a sweet dough, pastry dough. And then you get the red fruit, like a raspberry. This is a pretty interesting whiskey. Some of the things that I might not like about it, while it is interesting and good, I don't think it's $130 good. If you can find it for $70 like I did, I believe that's a fair price to experience what this has to offer, but the odds of that are not very high. Uh, it might be interesting if the proof was a little bit higher. 45%, that's, respectable. It's better than the 40%, minimum that you see on quite a few bottles. But I think it'd be interesting to try this at a little bit higher proof. Still good on the nose, still all those flavors, the toasted oak, the caramel, the cinnamon sugar, light baking spice. Yeah, it's good. It's interesting. It's different, but in a good way. Like I said, if you can try it, if you see it at a bar and the price is fair, or if you find a bottle cheap, like I happen to stumble across, yeah, pick it up, give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Of course, taste is subjective, so what I think's good and interesting, you might find the opposite. But from my palate, it's interesting, and I look forward to exploring it a little bit more. Well, I hope you look forward to our future reviews, and until next time, cheers.